Hello, it's Chris from My Stamp Lady. I'm here with this Timeless Tropical Bundle, and I'm going to share a card that I've made with it. I want to highlight a few things though for this video. The biggest one is going to be how you can make your own little ink cubes. I'm also going to talk about in the Tropics and the Timeless Tropical Bundle, these two products coordinate together. While these two products are not retiring, the discount is retiring. So right now, when you purchase these two products together, you save 10%. But starting with the new annual catalog, they will go to regular price for each of the items. I'm also using the Stitch So Sweetly dies. I'm using one of these scalloped rectangles. Right now, you can purchase the coordinating DSP or Designer Series paper. Has a colorful print on one side of each of the sheets and then a monochromatic pattern on the other side. So this paper is also retiring, so it will be available through June 2nd. And it coordinates and works so wonderfully with this bundle. Okay. So you can see the lovely lipstick which is in there. I love that color. Unfortunately, that's one of the in colors going away. And some beautiful paper to use. And then my favorite, I love this paper. I love the cars, the tropical trees. I just really like that paper. It's going to be fun to use. And then that last pattern. So here's the card that I am making. I'm going to show you about using these spots and why I use them. A little bit about the sponge. All of the paper sizes are on my blog, mystamplady.com, as well as the products that I've used. So I have these spots. They come with the Paper Pumpkin subscription. And so if you do subscribe to our Paper Pumpkin, and I will provide a link in the description below if you'd like some more information. So these have come with my Paper Pumpkin subscriptions. But you can make your own little spots, and because I'm using two colors on one stamp, that's why I like to use the ink spots. They also work really well with our Stamparatus. So this is how they come. They come in a package of 5, it looks like. Yep, five ink spots in there. And then you can also buy the refills, so you can make it to any color that you want. They are not inked, and you just go ahead and add your refill. So this is Highland Heather ink that I am putting on there, and just add enough until you have a wet ink pad. Put it away. It's going to continue sinking in through and spreading through the fibers of the ink pad as it sits there. I would really recommend putting the title or the name of the ink, like I have here, Sahara Sand, so this one is the Sahara Sand. It's really hard to tell from the ink pad what color it is. So I would really recommend labeling it. So now I'm going to show you why I've used these. So this is my image, and I want to make the trunks soft suede and the top or the leaves old olive. You can use a marker. I find that I get better results with ink pads. I just like the look of it better. A marker just has a little different look, and so I do prefer using ink pads. So I've taken that's the soft suede. I did get a little bit of ink on my tree, so I'm going to take a Kleenex and or a paper towel and just wipe that off. Okay, so now I have the old olive. Now this one, you notice my lid, I took it right off. This one, sometimes I leave the lids on, and that is helpful. It does kind of help to hold it. Now you leave it on by just cutting the one side of the label. Now if you're making your own, you don't have that option because there isn't a label on there, but I suppose you could always tape it back together. Okay, so there's my old olive, and because I have these small pads, it's really nice and easy to get in there. I still do like to give that little breath on there to moisten up that ink, and then I can just stamp that, and you see I have these wonderful trees that are 2 colors. I just love that. And that was so easy. So now with this coordinating die set, I'm going to cut out my trees. After you cut them out with the die, this is what they look like. I would recommend cleaning up your stamp every time in between, even if you're using the same colors. If you get them a little bit over each other, they could get a little bit muddy. Okay, so let's move on with this wonderful card. It's about rest and relaxation. So like I said, I have all of the supplies and the paper sizes on my blog. My card base is a half a sheet of Daffodil Delight, scored and folded in half. And then I took a piece of Daffodil Delight that's just a little bit smaller. It's 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches. I ran it through my die cutting machine with the coastal weave. This is also on the retirement list, and I love that folder. Folders add so much to your stamping. They add that slight texture to the background that doesn't overpower, and I really like that. Okay, so then I'm just going to place that down on my card front. I have cut a piece of that designer series paper, and I'm going to use the pineapples and just mount that onto a piece of soft suede cardstock as a mat. And so this is going to go right in the middle of my card front. So this is cut 2 3/4 by 3 3/4 is my piece of paper. And then the mat is 1/8 inch larger. So it would be 2 7/8 by 3 7/8. I'm going to put that down there, and then let's just slide in that piece of designer series paper that I've cut. Well, I'm going to put that right underneath there. So let me put some adhesive on the back side. I liked how it brought that red or the pinks into the card. Okay. So now I am going to show you how I did the sentiment. So I've already cut this out. I used this die. These are hard to get on when I have the magnet. I used that die. I cut out a piece of Whisper White cardstock. This is going to be my sentiment piece. Let's take that Rest and Relax, You Deserve It. I'm going to just stamp that right along the bottom here and leave some space up at the top. I have this flower image. I will take my Daffodil Delight ink pad and just ink that up with Grapefruit Grove and a sponge dauber. Pick up a little bit of ink, and I'm going to just add that around the center. And then let's kind of going to stamp that off to the side. And now that's, even though I stamped it second, it does look like it's behind my sentiment. We're going to keep putting together this card. So now I'm going to use a little bit of glue again here, and I'm going to put down my little focal piece here. I have stamped another tree set. So I have 2 sets of the trees. One of the trees is going to go in the background, and one of the trees is going to go on the foreground of the sentiment piece. So I'm just placing it down right now for some placement here so I can see where I want them. I'm going to move that tree up a little bit, move that one over a little, kind of like so it's tucked in there, right? And I can also move this down a bit. Okay, so let's add some adhesive to the back side here. Put adhesive on the back side of my sentiment, and we'll place that down. I have adhesive on the back side of my second set of trees, and we'll put that down in the front. And because I used a little bit of the liquid glue, I have a little bit of time to move that, which is nice. I am actually going to do the inside after I add a little bit of bling to my front here. So these are the holiday jewels, and I like to just add a little bit of interest, and it will also kind of draw your eye around the card front. And the holiday rhinestones are available permanently in the catalog and online. Okay, a little tip about your inside. So I often will buy a really heavy copy paper and use that. You could use Whisper White cardstock if you want, but sometimes I'll just take a really heavy piece of copy paper and put that along on the inside. This is a matching strip of that designer series paper from the front. Just going to place this at the bottom. I did a flower again, just like I did on the front, where I stamped it with the Daffodil Delight and put the little bit of Grapefruit Grove in the center, but this time I cut it out with the coordinating die. Let's add a little one of the die cut leaves, and this one is from the flower. And And I can just add this writing surface. Now, because it is Daffodil Delight, it's light, it's easy to write on the yellow, and so you wouldn't even have to do this, but I think it's kind of fun. And one of the nice things about having the handmade cards is that you can add your own little piece to the inside. So that is my Rest and Relax card with the Timeless Tropical. The bundle price will be ending now through June 2nd, and then after that, the individual products will be available, but you won't get the discount. But the paper is only available through June 2nd, 2020. If you like cards like this, be sure to subscribe.